training for state polls kicks off after nomination closes. EC advised to adopt existing COVID-19 prevention SOP. Hello and good evening. Salam Malaysia Madani. Thanks for joining us. I'm Otto Othman and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. Now, the majority of seats up for grabs in the ongoing state polls will see straight fights, according to Election Commission EC Chairman Tan Sri Abdul Ghani Saleh. He said that 181 straight fights were recorded, followed by 51 three-cornered fights, 13 four-cornered fights and 1 five-cornered fight in Kedah. Tan Sri Abdul Ghani said the oldest candidate is 80 years old, Ravinder Singh from Parti Rakyat Malaysia PRM, who is contesting in the N36 Pantai Jereja state seat in Pulau Pinang. He added that the youngest candidate is 23-year-old Melanie Ting Yi Lin from Muda, who is contesting in N19 Bukit Antarabangsa state seat in Selangor. Tan Sri Abdul Ghani said the campaign period has officially begun with the announcement by the managing officer and added that it will end at 11:59 p.m. on August 11th. 252 election enforcement teams have been tasked to monitor all activities of the candidates during campaigning. On nomination day itself on Saturday, Abdul Ghani said that only one nomination paper was rejected and added that it happened in Kelantan. 173 nomination centres were opened nationwide from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Saturday for the state elections and the Kuala Terengganu by-election. A total of 573 nomination papers were submitted from various parties and individuals who will contest in the state elections and the by-election. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said that the last-minute change in Pakatan Harapan PH candidates contesting the state polls is a normal process. The PH chairman said that the changes involving candidates from his party, PKR, would be carried out after seeing that there is a need to do so.
Itu proses biasa kalau ada apa-apa keperluan kita tukar di Kota Damansara, ada satu di Terengganu, satu di Kelantan. Itu proses biasa. Dan lagi pun calon Izzuan ini ketua AMK Selangor dan tidak ada calon pemuda angkatan muda di Selangor. Oleh itu kita rasa wajar dan AMK telah minta saya pertimbangkan semula kerana ketiadaan calon mewakili AMK di Selangor.
He said this when asked about the last-minute change of PKR candidates in the Kota Damansara state seat, which was announced by the party's vice president, who is also Selangor PKR chairman, Datuk Sri Amiruddin Shari, late last night. The Prime Minister, who is also the PKR president, however, did not share the details of which state seats in Kelantan and Terengganu were involved in the last-minute change. He said that for the Kota Damansara state seat, the change involved ID Amin Yazid, who was previously announced as a candidate, was replaced by the Selangor Angkatan Muda Keadilan AMK Chief, Muhammad Izwan Ahmad Kasim. The people of Kelantan have been urged to make the right decision by choosing candidates from Barisan Nasional and Pakatan Harapan in the upcoming state polls to allow more allocations to be channeled by the federal government. Now, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zain Hamidi believes that the Kelantanese have suffered for 33 years under the past administration with problems such as clean water supply and job opportunities. He said the people of Kelantan have been suffering for a long time and want the problem faced, such as the problem of clean water, to be solved, in addition to addressing the lack of job opportunities which is forcing young people to migrate. He was met while giving support to BN and PH candidates contesting the Chetok Gual Perio and Apam Putra state seats at the Apam Putra complex in Pasir Mas today. Earlier, Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid, who is also the BN chairman, joined the candidates and almost 500 BN and PH supporters in the march to the nomination centre at the Pasir Mas Vocational College, which involved 3 state constituencies, namely Tendong, Bengkalan Pasir and Meranti. Commenting further, he said the unity government's determination to solve the problems of the people of Kelantan had been proven by the Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, by approving allocations amounting to 1.7 billion ringgit to overcome water supply problems in the state, in addition to the flood mitigation projects. The nomination process for the state election in 6 states and the by-election for the Kuala Terengganu parliamentary seat went smoothly with no untoward incidents reported, according to Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein. He said that based on monitoring by the Royal Malaysia Police (PDRM) at all 173 nomination centres that were open for the purpose today, there was incidents of provocation by supporters of the contesting political parties and the candidates concerned. He said the PDRM also used drones to monitor the situation in the 6 states having the election, and through their observation from the Bukit Aman Operations Centre, the process went well. Met today, he said the drones will also be used to monitor the situation on polling day, 12th August. The state elections involved 36 seats in Kedah, Kelantan 45, Terengganu 32, Pulau Pinang 40, Selangor 56 and Negeri Sembilan 36, with polling day set for August 12th, while early voting is on August 8th. Also held simultaneously is the Kuala Terengganu parliamentary by-election. The Health Ministry will meet with the Election Commission (EC) to discuss the needs to implement COVID-19 Standard Operating Procedures (SOPs) on polling day. Its Minister, Dr. Zaliha Mustafa, said that the Ministry was satisfied with the compliance of party supporters with the SOPs so far and hoped that all voters would do the same on polling day.
SOP coverage macam saya sebut hari itu, kita akan berbincang lagi sekali dengan SPR untuk lihat nanti SOP masa hari pengundian, semasa penamaan calon seperti kita tengok hari inilah. Cuma of course siapa-siapa yang bergejala kita galakkanlah untuk terus menjaga keadaan, pakai mask dan sebagainya.
She said this after the announcement of the candidates contesting in the Kuala Terengganu parliamentary by-election and Ladang state seat candidate at Kuala Terengganu City Council today. Dr. Zaliha also said that all candidates from Barisan Nasional (BN) and Pakatan Harapan (PH) had passed their health screening tests. A total of 107 BN candidates and 138 PH candidates who are eligible to contest have passed the health screening process. The meeting between the Health Ministry and the EC is expected to take place in the coming days. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah today called for wildlife conservation efforts to be strengthened to prevent threats to wildlife species that can lead to their extinction. Al-Sultan Abdullah said there must be a concerted effort involving all parties to preserve wildlife, including the Malayan tiger. Al-Sultan Abdullah said all parties, including non-governmental organizations and individuals, need to come together to preserve this national icon, as well as other wildlife, so that they will continue to exist, and this ongoing effort must be made a priority. His Majesty, in his speech, welcomed the move taken by the state government in gazetting 134,183 hectares of land in stages for the Al-Sultan Abdullah Royal Tiger Reserve, and expressed appreciation for the efforts taken by his son, Tengku Hasanal, in fighting to protect the Malayan tigers and their ecosystem.
Sepanjang saya jadi Tengku Mahkota 45 tahun, tidak ada usaha untuk merizalkan satu kawasan yang besar di atas nama seorang sultan ataupun Tengku Mahkota. Ini adalah satu anjakan paradigma yang positif terhadap memelihara alam sekitar.
His Majesty said this at the proclamation of the Al-Sultan Abdullah Royal Tiger Reserve and Tengku Hasanal Wildlife Reserve at Lancang Biodiversity Centre in Temerloh today. Also present was the Regent of Pahang, Tengku Hasanal Ibrahim Alamshah. Coming up in our foreign segment, Bangladesh police clash with protesters calling for PM Sheikh Hasina to resign. Typhoon Doksuri has caused widespread flooding and landslides in the southeastern province of Fujian, China after making landfall on Friday. As it moves north and deeper inland, the cyclone would bring extreme rainfall to Beijing and its neighboring provinces, affecting 130 million people. Now, meteorologists said the intensity of rainfall in northern China from today to Tuesday could reach or exceed a 2012 downpour in Beijing that killed 79 people. Doksuri is the most powerful typhoon to hit Fujian since meteorological records began in 1950. It is also the strongest typhoon to make landfall in China this year. Over 724,600 people in 84 Fujian counties have been affected, with 124,400 residents evacuated. About 262 hectares of crops were also damaged. Doksuri moved to the southeastern province of Anhui on Saturday morning and weakened into a tropical depression, a type of weak tropical cyclone. On Friday night, it was centered on the city of Fuzhou in neighboring Jiangxi province, where it weakened into a tropical storm. Now, according to National Meteorological Center, Doksuri will bring heavy rainfall to more than 12 provinces across China, from Fujian and Jingji in southeast of Huibei and Liaoning in the north. Bangladesh police fired rubber bullets and tear gas to disperse stone-throwing crowds blockading major roads in the capital Dhaka today in the latest protest demanding the Prime Minister's resignation. The opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, and its allies have staged a series of protests since last year, demanding Sheikh Hasina step down and allow a caretaker government to oversee elections due next January. Clashes erupted in several locations when police moved in to clear thousands of people who gathered in the morning to block traffic on key arteries around the city. Dhaka Metropolitan Police spokesman Farooq Ahmed said at least 4 protest sites around the city saw clashes between police and protesters. Transport links between the capital and other parts of the country were badly disrupted, with trucks and buses stuck in gridlock. Protests led by the BNP have become increasingly common since the start of the year, with rallies this month drawing tens of thousands of people to the streets. A shooting in a Seattle parking lot Friday night wounded 5 people, including 2 who were in critical condition. Seattle Police Chief Adrian Diaz said dozens and dozens of rounds were fired in the incident, adding that police were not sure of a possible motive. The Seattle Police Department responded to a reported shooting around 9 p.m. local time in the 9200 block of Rainer Avenue South. The shooting started in the parking lot of what was formerly known as King Donuts and was directed at a community event occurring nearby. The 5 victims included 2 who were listed in critical condition and 3 who appeared to be stable. 4 victims were transported to the Harbor View Medical Center in Seattle, and the 5th was treated at the scene. Diaz also said that the number of shooting in the city has fluctuated and remains an issue. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell thanked community members and police at the scene for working together to protect residents, calling the violence a tragedy. Coming up in sports, Terengganu drop points again as Kelantan United fight back to salvage home draw. In a perfect scenario, Harimau Malaya head coach Kim Pan-gon would like to check out a few more players before he settles on the strongest lineup possible for the 2023 Asian Cup finals in Qatar next January. The 54-year-old South Korean is aware that time, or rather the lack of it, is in his worst enemy as he tries to get the national football team ready for action. This also includes monitoring the development of the players on his list and preparing the team for the 2 international friendlies lined up for September. As such, he is aware that it will be difficult for him to make too many changes as he strives to guide his men to achieve another milestone in Qatar. The International Football Federation FIFA international match window from 4th to 12th September clashes with the 2024 Under-23 Asian Cup qualifiers that the nation Under-23 squad will be involved in from 6 to 12 September in Thailand. According to the Football Association of Malaysia, FAM, the Harimau Malaya are also likely to head to China and Egypt to play 2 friendly matches in September, with the matter expected to be finalized soon. After the 2 friendlies, the nation's squad will compete in the 2023 Pesta Bola Merdeka in October, followed by the second round of the 2026 World Cup 2027 Asian Cup qualifiers starting in November, before making their long-awaited appearance in the 2023 Asian Cup finals next January. Terengganu FC failed to capitalize on their home ground advantage after they were held to a 1-1 draw by Negeri Sembilan FC at the Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin Stadium in Kuala Nerus last night. After a goalless first half, Ivan Mahmud broke the deadlock in the 66th minute to put the Turtles ahead. The goal was Mahmud's 5th in 14 Super League appearances. However, Negeri Sembilan's centre-back Harold Golan earned his team a precious point with a late equaliser in the 89th minute, thus denying the host from collecting 3 maximum points. Terengganu are 6th in the standings with 26 points, while Negeri Sembilan are 9th with 21 points. In Kota Baru, Kelantan United bounced back from a 2-goal deficit to hold PDRM FC to a 2-all draw. The Cops scored through Nabil Ahmad Latti in the 47th minute and Uche Akbar with the 54th minute. Unwilling to bow down easily, Kelantan United fought back. 1 goal from Jose Elma Porteria reduced the deficit in the 56th minute, while Sharvin Selva Kumaran equalized for the hosts in the 71st minute. Kelantan United are 12th with 8 points, while the Cops remain 8th with 24 points. Juventus will not play in Europe next season after being banned over breaches of UEFA's club licensing and financial fair play rules, while Premier League side Chelsea will pay €10 million for submitting incomplete financial information. The UEFA Club Financial Control Body, CFCB, opened a formal investigation into Juventus back in December, months after the Italian side was among 8 clubs that reached a settlement with UEFA for failing to comply with the break-even requirements. In a statement on Friday, European football's governing body said it would impose an additional financial contribution of €20 million on the club. Juventus, who qualified for the Conference League playoff round after finishing 7th in Serie A last term, said they had waived the right to appeal that decision but maintained their innocence. UEFA also reached a settlement with Chelsea over the submission of incomplete financial information related to historical transactions between 2012-19 prior to the London club's acquisition by the Bowley Clear Lake Consortium in 2022. Germany's quest to capture their 3rd Women's World Cup has suffered a blow with the loss of Felicitas Roch to a knee injury. But coach Martina Voss-Tecklenburg is confident her squad will rally to fill the defenders' void in their game against Colombia tomorrow. Voss-Tecklenburg said Rausch hurt her knee in training, and while the coach did not give the specifics of the injury, she said the diagnosis isn't worse than what she has. The Germans' 6-0 winners over Morocco in their opening game were already missing defender Giulia Gwyn, who played a key role in her team's second-place finish to England at the 2022 Euros, and Bayern Munich defender Caroline Simon, who ruptured her ankle in a friendly versus Zambia earlier this month in their final game before the World Cup. Meanwhile, Colombia's 18-year-old striker Linda Caicedo is healthy 2 days after she collapsed in training, Coach Nelson Abadia said, adding that the frightening incident was partly due to the pressure of Caicedo playing in her first Senior Women's World Cup. Caicedo, who is expected to play against Germany at Sydney Football Stadium, slowed to a stop during training on Thursday, then put a hand to her chest and laid down on the pitch as the teammates and medical staff rushed to her aid. Caicedo became the youngest player to score in the World Cup in Colombia's 2-0 win over South Korea, darting in from the midfield and curling in a shot from the edge of the box. Coming up in our business segment, investment momentum in Malaysia to stay positive for Q2 this year. Bursa Malaysia is expected to remain on an upward trajectory next week on improving market sentiment and substantial support from foreign funds. Rakuten Trades and Denver had anticipated the buying momentum on the local market to continue next week, although profit taking may prevail as well. The brokerage firm believe the outlook will remain positive in the near to mid-term due to attractive valuations and continuous support from foreign funds.
Recent weeks, I think we've seen a net inflow of foreign funds into our market. That's why I can see the Bursa KLC has trend up to 1,045 level. Nomination day for the state elections, so things will certainly get better after 12 August. So I think.
On average, the FTSE Bursa Malaysia KLCI, FBM KLCI, is expected to trend within the 1,445 to 1,460 range next week. For the week just ended, the FBM KLCI traded mostly higher and showcased an impressive performance, buoyed by strong buying support from local institutions and foreign funds. On a Friday-to-Friday basis, the FBM KLCI rose 36.83 points to finish at 1,450.35 versus 1,413.52 a week earlier. Now, Malaysia's investment momentum, which has seen strong growth since the first quarter of 2023, Q1 2023, is expected to maintain its upward trajectory in Q2 2023. Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, MITI, Tengku Dato' Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said in Q1 2023, Malaysia had secured 71.4 billion ringgit of approved investments in various economic sectors. Now, this was an increase of 60% from 44.7 billion ringgit registered in the same quarter last year. According to Tengku Dato' Sri Zafrul, the momentum in Q2 2023, which will be announced soon, is also positive, adding that the nation remains on track considering the uncertainties surrounding the global market. However, Tengku Dato' Sri Zafrul said Malaysia's total trade will likely moderate in Q2 2023 on the back of the global trade slowdown and is forecast to grow around 1.6 to 1.7% this year in tandem with the global economic growth. He noted that Malaysia is an open economy with its trade to gross domestic product GDP ratio for 2022 standing at 141%. Thus, it is relying heavily on what is happening globally. On Malaysia's GDP forecast for 2023 of 4 to 5%, he is optimistic that this could be achieved. However, the minister stressed that the country should not rely on consumption and government spending to garner the growth. Digital travel services saw an upsurge among users in Malaysia, particularly those that reside in urban areas, with 7 out of 10 urban digital consumers in Malaysia already using digital travel services. Now, this category is expected to grow 56% year on year and contribute $8 billion to Malaysia's digital economy by 2025. Google Cloud Regional Director, Indonesia and Malaysia, Megawati Key, said travel ecosystem players cannot afford to overlook the importance of offering digital services that are always on, simple, personalized and secure. Key said Google search trends for the period 16 July 2022 to 15th July 2023 suggest that adjacent industries can seize opportunities presented by Malaysia's tourism rebound.
We are able to witness 56% of year-on-year growth and contribute $8 billion to your digital economy by 20. So it's very versatile, okay? It's on demand. So in an airline, whether it's airport, the services can actually run faster. It can actually serve the demands faster and it's more flexible.
She was met at a press briefing on Malaysia's travel recovery and growth, trends, opportunities and innovations in the nation's capital. Digital tourism refers to using digital tools to organize, manage, and even enjoy the travel experience. Badan Nasional Berhad Pernas, in collaboration with the Sarawak Ministry of Youth, Sports and Entrepreneur Development, has targeted to provide 5 million ringgit in financing opportunities through the organisation of the Biz Franchise at Sarawak 2023 program. Pernas Chairman Dato' Hazimah Zainuddin said Sarawak would be the second from a series of 6 state tour programs aimed at expanding opportunities for entrepreneurs and growing the franchise industry in the respective states. He said Pernas is targeting 156 applications with 26.67 million ringgit in funding potential for the programs in all 6 states, namely Sarawak, Pulau Pinang, Perak, Sabah, Johor and Pahang. Speaking today, Dato' Hazimah said the program in Sarawak, involving 29 franchise company exhibitors from outside and within the state, had attracted 600 visitors who attended the roadshow to obtain information from Pernas. He said Pernas had provided financing totaling 19 million ringgit to 65 companies in Sarawak since 2010. Azimah added that Pernas also targeted 10 registrations for its Business in Transformation (BIT) program through Biz Franchise at Sarawak, which offers small and medium entrepreneurs or enterprises opportunities to become franchise businesses. The Labuan Structure Plan 2040 and the Labuan Local Plan 2040, which are in the final stages of preparation, can ensure that this tax-free island develops into a more sustainable, competitive and livable federal territory. Federal Territories Department Director General Dato' Sri Rosida Jaafar said Labuan must be a vibrant island and able to compete with other tax-free islands. She said Labuan Corporation's Management Strategic Plan and the Digitalization Strategic Plan, which are improved every 5 years, can be a benchmark for improving the efficiency and effectiveness of administration, organizational management, and the development of a sustainable digital ecosystem in Labuan. She said that at the opening of the Labuan Corporation and Government Agencies Customer Day program at the Labuan Financial Park Complex today. She said Labuan's strategic location linking Sabah, Sarawak, Brunei and other ASEAN countries gives Labuan a competitive advantage as a viable economic destination in their region. She said Labuan, which is an international business and financial center, has the potential to become a second Singapore through the development of the country's oil and gas and maritime industries. Rosida said Labuan Corporation will continue the momentum of Labuan's development through other programs that focus more on sustainable and inclusive development trends. Well, that concludes this edition of Malaysia Tonight. In our top story, campaigning for state polls kicks off after nomination closes. Now, till then, I'm Otto Othman, Malaysia Madani, Tekad Perpaduan, Penuhi Harapan. Thank you for watching.